Okay, for reals this time. Alright, this will be me, Stone here, commenting on my current world record run of Gunpoint. It'll be a quick game full of lots of action. I'll try and explain the few tricks that I do as I go, but they'll go by pretty quick. So if anyone has any questions afterward, feel free to message me and I'll answer them best I can. Basically, the point of this run is to kind of drum up interest for speedrunning this game because I think it's a lot of fun and it has a few nice skips and skill to it. So without further ado, let us kick it off. So that rapid spamming you hear right there is me hitting the space bar to skip all that text that just flew by. Because speedrunning does not give a fuck about story, even though this game was excellently written. So basically you're a spy with super pants that can jump really far, trying to solve this murder that you just got framed for. One of the things you should do in this game is definitely time it in real time, because as you saw in that 17 seconds, the game will time that anywhere between 16 and 18 seconds, arbitrarily based on absolutely nothing. I'm jumping my way to the goal. Yep. Screwed up that slide a bit there. Managed to make it into the elevator. Basically your goal on each level is to make it to that little desk right there and hack the information out of it. Sometimes a lot of the jumps can be difficult to line up, especially if you're trying to run quickly, so you'll notice that a lot of the times I will line up some of my jumps with background, especially since the building's skylight is pretty much static the entire game. It really helps to line them up on certain windows. Also, this seems really slow partially because it is. Can probably save about 3 seconds there. Okay, this is where the game starts to get interesting, because I just bought an item called the Cross Hack, which allows me to reroute electricity from light switches into doors, and it sort of becomes a puzzler at this point. You'll notice when I hit that switch, it now electrocutes the guard, which chains to opening the door on the first floor. These splits may seem a bit arbitrary, but in reality what they're for is to basically remind me what the hell I'm supposed to do on each level. Here's a first neat little trick. Normally the guards shoot you in the face if they see you, but for some reason if you manage to walk in front of them just as you're exiting a staircase, they'll switch places with you and basically run upstairs while you're going down. There's another item I need, which some electrical sources can't actually be hacked automatically from the start of each level, and you have to hit those little switches at the bottom there to activate certain colors. You may also notice during certain cutscenes that my mouse might not seem to be moving before I manage to skip ahead to a mission or skip vital information, and that's generally because I'll be rapidly clicking in between each level, and what happens is the screen will be dark, but it'll still register mouse movements, so basically I'll just kind of throw my mouse in the general direction of where I know the start mission button is, and that will generally trigger the start of the next mission before I can even see it. This is the first mission that has a real potential to be a run-ender, but fortunately most things in this game are generally down to user skill, so I can't blame RNG too much. This one can screw up in a number of ways. Sometimes I'll miss that jump and slide too far and break the window on the opposite side there, and what happens then is that it alerts that guard who runs upstairs, that guard on the floor below who runs upstairs and shoots me in the face. Oops, I'm supposed to split there. Whatever. Here's a rather interesting mechanic in that what happens is you use the elevator the ding will make that person turn around. Oddly enough, in quite a number of missions, that ding on the elevator is completely ignored by enemies. If they've been previously alerted by something else, they'll completely ignore the fact that the elevator just made a noise. Now, this is the first actual skip in the game that I found. If you noticed, as soon as the guard crossed the little line next to that couch, no, I was supposed to hit the split. Instead of just turning around and pathing back like he's supposed to do, he will open that door for you. I do not know why. I discovered that completely by accident while I was routing. But basically it skips most of that level and trivializes it. This is another run-ender right here. As you break that first window, you'll notice there's a guard on the second floor. He has a very high possibility of running up the stairs and shooting you in the face. There is a way around him. You can either bait him into going back down the stairs with you or just wait for him to path back. But what happens is you miss the one cycle on the person that I just crawled by. Also, I'm terrible at hitting my own splits, but whatever. This is one of the first missions that I horribly screwed up on. You'll notice I tried to line up the jump here and then got super lucky because that person should have all rights shot me in the face, but he missed because he sucks. I'll do a bit of a bonus stream afterwards that will show you the correct strats for the 2 levels that I royally screwed up on. That thing in the ceiling there is a noise detector, and basically if an elevator dings in the room where the noise detector is, it will trigger whatever you attach it to. This is where I buy my final items, which is a gun and the ability to break windows silently, which I will use here. This is one of my more annoying levels because as you upgrade the ability to jump, somehow your ability to break through windows gets diminished. You have to be much farther away to actually break through them. So you can see I love this level by the name of the split. Routing this was probably the most annoying part, because there's basically a million little things you have to keep track of as people control back and forth, and you're rewiring various circuits. So basically you want the people on floors 2 and 3 to be locked in their rooms. You want the person on the top floor to have the lights go out so he can't see you. And you want the person on the bottom floor to be alerted and run to the right, triggering that to open. Now the problem here is about 50% of the time the person on the bottom floor will not turn on the light and will just instead be waiting for you to drop from the skylight and shoot you in the face as soon as you land. Basically the gun is one of the most overpowered weapons in the game. It's a one-hit kill for anything. And how I used it there, but the problem is once you use the gun, the mission will have an arbitrary timer, and if that timer runs out before you get to the end of the level, you cannot finish it because you'll just die. This is kind of a lucky jump that I don't have a good lineup for, but that second one, as I make that blind leap over the first building, there's a very high chance that the person waiting there will just shoot you in the face. This is also a fairly simple level that I absolutely screwed up. I think. Was it this run or was it the last run? No, I did totally fine this one. Well, no, I screwed up there because I wasn't supposed to jump down. But otherwise, totally fine. On my last run, I accidentally fell into the camera below and set off the alarm and got shot in the face. You want to pick the top option there because if you pick the second one, it's the same level, but on the final boss, there'll be 2 people instead of just 1, and it wastes about 30 to 45 seconds. That person down there that I just electrocuted multiple times has trolled my run a bunch because I think I've zapped him, but he's managed to path around it, so that was some paranoid strats right there. Plus, I was so far ahead of my previous splits that I didn't want the run to die. So at this point, nerves are getting to me, which will explain why I managed to screw up the last level so badly, which is the next one. One of the nice things about Gunpoint is at least that it's a short run. So that last level makes you... so you set off that alarm because of this person right here. He is facing that doorway if you do not set off that alarm. But it doesn't really matter how fast you do the first part of this level, because you still be stuck waiting for these guys. Although there is a skip that's possible, but not really reusable in any sense of speedrunning. I'll show that in the bonus clips after as well. But as I was saying, the game makes you buy an item that allows you to kick in doors, which is supposedly needed for this level, but it's really not, as you can see. This is where I screw up royally. As you can see, I get bodied by that door. What I was trying to do is set up a... Oh, and I missed the window and fall, and that wasted about 10 seconds. So in total, the run was probably about an 11:55, and I was aiming for sub 12. And the problem is I can save about 10 to 15... Actually, no, I can save about 15 seconds. 10 to 15 seconds if I get the correct tricks, but the problem is the rest of that run, even though it might not look like it, was so blazingly fast that I have not been able to replicate it in a time that's under 10 seconds faster / slower. So let's go on to trick number 1 here. Let's see, where are my videos? There we are. Okay, so here's how this level is supposed to go. And what I normally do is I line this jump up right here with that window in the background. And for some reason on my PB, that didn't actually work. And that breaking through that window and getting shot at cost me about 4 seconds, 3 to 4 seconds. Okay. Here's a recording of how the final level is supposed to go. Alright, so you get up here, and then you jump, and that door will open without knocking you down. You run past him, shoot him in the back like a man, leap out the window, saving a total of about 9 seconds. From whatever the hell it was where I slid out the window, fell on my face from 20 stories, and limped to the victory. Alright, now here's another trick that I found that I don't think is replicatable unless you're running tasks. Basically, it completely breaks the game because you can jump under doors. I'll try and explain how you jump under doors because it looks simple, and I actually got this first try, was amazed, and then spent about 15 minutes trying to do it again and failing. So let's see, 20, 30. Alright, so you're here. So basically what we're going to be doing is skipping these three guys, which waste a good 15, 20 seconds. So you go up here. What you're going to do is you're going to jump, and you're stuck in the door real quick. And of course then I come up here and get bodied by this door. But basically if you get those two tricks working in a row. Now basically let's rewind that because that's an important trick. This trick is actually easier the longer the room is. Because here, I'll wait for me to line this jump up. Alright. So basically what you're going to do is when you propel yourself forward, your body flies out horizontally like you're doing a Superman, and when you hit the ground you're going to slide. If you start sliding on the ground on the same frame that you basically cross the plane at the bottom of the door, you'll either bounce through and jump out the other side, or you'll do what I do here and just get stuck inside the door, which allows you to walk through it. Now, the reason it's easier the longer the run is because you can get more horizontal. It's easier later in the run because you can speed boost faster. And you move faster, so it's easier to gain the momentum to get through the door. And I've managed to do it in smaller rooms, but honestly, it's damn near impossible. And I've tried as I might. I spent 2 hours in just one room trying to find a spot where I could replicate jumping under a door and could not manage to do it. But if someone can find a better way to do that, I would be most appreciative. But as of now, that's pretty much the run. I probably won't be running this much unless someone beats it, which I hope someone will, because it's a fantastic game to run. It's short. It's quite action-packed. There's not really a whole lot of downtime ever. And it's just a well-made game overall, despite the fact that you can jump under doors and such. But if you have any questions, shoot me a message and I'll respond to it as best I can. Good running, everyone.